Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is awesome, man. What a Thursday night contest it was. Rams and Vikings. I mean, the refs, again, we got to always harp on this, man. I can't wait till Elon actually get his robots to take over for reffing in the NFL because it's got to be better than what we're seeing. Good Lord. But we'll be talking today, Boomer Bust, week number 8 on the schedule. The, halfway point of the NFL season is approaching here, and unbelievable how quick it does go. We got lots of players, lots of injuries to discuss later on. I got start sit for you guys on Saturday, so definitely stay tuned for that as well, like always. But let's talk these running backs on the boom and bust. We got Jonathan Taylor taking on the Houston Texans. I mean, with news, JT's practicing this week. Big ups. We need them back on the field in a big way. Signs are definitely pointing to his triumphant return. I love it, man, to the field in week number 8. And, I mean, coming off that high ankle sprain, I mean, it is a risk always because we got to hope there's going to be no setbacks like it was last season and how he was dealt to the IR post coming back too early from that other ankle injury. But we'll see how it does go. But if he's suiting up this week, you damn right I'm playing the man. Much like I was saying to everybody else about Puka on the social media in his return, you got to fire him up, man. If they're good to go, the coaches say they're good, we're playing him this week, and I mean, he's a beast. We know this. JT, even though we haven't seen a lot of JT since week number 4, he's got 100% boom rate in those 4 contests, hitting on all 4 of his contests. And I mean, while Anthony Richardson, Rich, he's unable to hit the side of a damn barn at this point. They're going to lean on that ground game with JT back. No question about it. Attack things on the ground, moving in the best way because things are definitely booming for a JT this week. I'm absolutely firing him up if he is playing. Tyrone Tracy taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, and even though the Giants, I mean, they're underachieving for the most part every single week this week, there are talents on this club that we can get behind. Tracy is definitely one of them, Malik Neighbors, and then Theo Johnson at tight end. We could definitely get on board with the building talent that the Giants do possess on this roster at this point. But, I mean, okay, they did find a lot of good talent here. Like I'm saying, more touches have come to a Tracy. Having played in all 7 games so far, Tracy has seen booms in weeks number 5 and number 6, only to fall back down to earth in week 7, but it gets no easier this week. The Giants take on a Steelers team that is going to bode extremely well on the defending the run, so I mean, it's not going to be very good for heavy offensive production, especially for a Danny Penny. He's going to see the bum rush, even with Devin Singletary also finding his way back. I mean, we should start to see them ride the hot hand here in New York as he's coming off, Tracy's coming off a, not very good contest this past week, and I mean, TJ Watt and company, they will be coming, so I'm saying a bust coming unless Tracy breaks one for a massive TD. I'm not risking it this week. Kareem Hunt taking on the Las Vegas Raiders and these Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. It truly is ridiculous how the Chiefs can pick up any aging talent off the couch, expel every ounce of them in their twilight years, and to be absolute players on the field. Kareem was coming off the damn couch, man, and now he's one of the hottest backs in the NFL right now, having nearly 3 booms in the last 3 games in 2024, having 19.7 points on average in the last 2 contests. Absolutely money on the running back spot for fantasy football. The Chiefs also traded for DeAndre Hopkins. You are killing me to add more talent for Patrick Mahomes, boy. I am absolutely sick and tired of these Chiefs. But my evaluation's always unbiased. You guys know this. In this offense, we can basically trust anyone at this point because Andy Reid gets everybody moving, and Hunt will run wild versus a broken Raiders squad. Business is booming for a Kareem Hunt. Absolutely fire him up, man. Chuba Hubbard taking on these Denver Broncos. Okay, and one of the worst teams in the NFL. Chuba's been the lone absolute steal bright spot at this point in terms of ADP to ROI. You got to love what's going down, ranking as a 10th running back. 10th best ranked running back, I should say, so far halfway point of the season. Chuba's got a nice 71.4 on the boom rate thus far. However, I'm going to tell y'all Andy Dalton was in that car crash. It's going to keep him out of this week, and now we got some issues because Bryce Young is ready to restrap on those pads and, I mean, take this offense back down to meek levels. We don't like it. I mean, at least with the Red Rifle, we saw some movement with this offense. Everything's going to get a downgrade, definitely with a Bryce Young. When Chuba played with Young in weeks 1 and 2, Hubbard only gained 1.4 points and 9.6 points, respectively. So unless Bryce absolutely learned how to play football, watching Andy play, playing these Denver Broncos top-end defense as well, that's super tough indeed for any quality team. I got to say, a bust is coming unless garbage time absolutely fixes that. First time in 5 games, we're calling a bust for a Chuba Hubbard. Wide receivers, Tyreek Hill, the Cheetah, taking on these Arizona Cardinals. And okay, the Cheetah, he goes on record saying that we back, baby. You better be starting me in fantasy football this week. All jokes aside, since Tua has been out, Tyreek has been a straight up toilet bust, man. Scoring a floor of 1.8 points and a ceiling of 9.9. This is terrible numbers, man. It's dreadful. And if you manage to make it this far, so far without the help of Tyreek, and you're still alive for a playoff push, we could be getting back in the goods. And we should see this offense get back to better levels once again now that Tua is back. And it could be, a slow start early based on rust heavy for Tua coming back from the concussion. I'm still believing that Hill is what he's spewing onto the media, that he's going to be, playing big dog plays. With that said, if Tua doesn't play, this evaluation is definitely moot. But I'm going to call it boom time finally for the Cheetah in Tua's return. If Tua does sit, then this whole evaluation is moot, and we will not play a Tyreek Hill. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, taking on the Chicago Bears. And this is a very interesting week for the Commies. We'll see what does happen, as they still could be without their hot shot. QB Jaden Daniels. We'll see how it does go down. I think he was taking some warm-up practices, not fully practicing at this point, and he could sit. The league also flexed this game to the better slot so we could witness the next up-and-coming greats in Caleb Williams and JD. That's the premise for this whole evaluation as well. It's all determined on Jaden playing ball for Terry. And Terry has definitely picked up steam since week 3, hitting booms in the last 5 games, becoming Daniel's favorite target on the field. The points just keep rolling, man. However, this is the problem. If Jaden Daniels does sit, we got to place massive caution on this man, Terry McLaurin, to sit him for greater options. I don't believe in Marcus Mariota. He came off the bench, looked okay, moved the offense, but it's not going to be a constant because everybody knows what a Marcus Mariota is not. But if Jaden Daniels does start, fire up a Terry, switch the eval to a boom if he does. But right now we got to call it a bust because Jaden definitely is going to be closer to game time before we find him out. So if Jaden sits, I'm calling a bust. Tyler Lockett taking on these Buffalo Bills. And to be fair, Tyler Lockett's been one of my favorites in this league with the Hawks for so many years. Mr. Reliable. The man is so clutch they could literally put his face next to the definition in the dictionary. Whenever you need a play made, you look for Tyler Lockett, and he's making plays with DK Metcalf likely due to miss this game due to that MCL injury. Lockett and Jackson Smith-Njigba, they should be in line to take greater roles. Abso-freaking-lutely. And, Lockett does have a history when he does play the Bills. He plays them very well and, puts up a lot of points. But in this case, this week, even though Lockett has only 2 boom games on the season, his role is kind of phasing out as they want to utilize JSN a lot more. JSN has got a heaping of targets. 55 targets on the season so far for Jackson Smith-Njigba. And I'm telling y'all, the future in this wide receiver room is DK and JSN. But now, regardless, we still see that Lockett has almost 60 points, 59.4, which still does overtake JSN by 2 with all those targets that he does have. So, even though playing the Bills, and the Bills have played extremely, very well so far on defense. They've have lapses from time to time. But, overall, the Bills' defense has played very well. But I fully expect Lockett to find holes, make big plays. I'm calling a boom for this savvy veteran versus my Buffalo Bills. Romeo taking on these Jags. Okay, just a few weeks ago, what do we see? Romeo Doubs sitting at home missing practice to make a point to say his usage in this offense was unacceptable. Packers suspend him. They say, okay, you stay home. You're not coming back. But then what do we see? So, subsequently, I called him a sleeper the week he came back. They force-fed him the ball. He got himself a boom. And okay, it repaid us all handsomely, but coming off back-to-back boom games, this absolutely showcases the fact that Dobbs can't complain too much about his role anymore, and the fact that he's only posted a 33% boom rate clip right now thus far. It's not great, but he's looked great in the past 2 games, and I don't think we're going to see this come to an end whatsoever, especially versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, squad. It's not going to be a good game for the Jags, no question, man. They can't stop a cold in the pass game. Reed and Dobbs are the 1-2 punch. We got Wicks and Watson rounding out the rest with big plays deep. I'd be shocked if Romeo doesn't have a big day this week. booming for 3 straight weeks for Romeo Doubs, man. I got him on my board, no question. Tight ends, Pat Freiermuth taking on those New York Giants. And okay, I mean, while this season hasn't seen great levels of passing for Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson did inject some positive plays through the air this week, which was good to see. And I mean, it's something we could definitely get excited about. Y'all know how much I love the Muth and his game overall. Y'all know this. You watch my videos, you know I'm smitten by this guy. But right now, we got to understand the team right now is underutilizing him, and I'm starting to get extremely angry. Use the man, damn it. I just don't understand. He's one of your best red zone targets. Utilize him properly. But anyway, I mean, the Muth only has 1 boom game so far this season, and dangerous Russell Wilson still doesn't necessarily look to tight ends historically in great bunches, and so far in his 1 game, he was looking to Washington over the Muth, which is baffling to me anyway. I mean, there's better options this week because I'm tired of waiting for tight ends to come for Pat Freiermuth. I'm calling a bust until I see different. I don't even care if he booms on my bench this week. I got to see it to believe it before I start preaching this up right now. Cade Otton taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, and sometimes by circumstance, we're gifted things to help us earn points. And I'm telling y'all, while we never cheer for injuries over here at the channel, he is the biggest benefactor right now, Cade Otton. Without big Mike Evans, Chris Godwin dealing with an injury sent to season-ending IR. Mike Evans out likely 4 weeks. Bake Show has proven to be extremely reliable in this offense, and they still look good running the football. So, I mean, the pivot has got to be said, to the steady tight end here in Cade Otton to move the chains, be more of a red zone presence, make his role that much better. You guys know I'm also a huge fan of Jalen McMillan. I think his role should absolutely increase in a very big way also. But Cade, 3 out of 7 games has boomed so far. This should be far more consistent over the next 4 weeks until a Mike Evans does return from injury. I'm telling y'all, boom for a Cade this week versus those Dirty Birds. I'm all on board. If you got him off the waiver wire, we're gonna be smiling. I have a big feeling about a Cade Otton. Sam Laporta taking on Tennessee Titans. Okay, I get it, man. I know. Laporta's been reporting down everybody's trends. It just has been a dreadful season for this Lions potential star, Sam Laporta. I don't know what to say. It's extremely baffling. But, he's become such a headache to play at this point, having only, 1 out of 7 booms with a ceiling of only 12 points nearly? This is terrible news going on, but okay, we do got some positives. Again, we don't cheer for anybody's demise, but J-Mo's been out for the next 2 weeks due to a PED suspension. Monty tweaked something last week in that knee. He did finish the contest, but they're going to, they leaned on Gibby. That might be, again, the play this week, but I really do believe the game plan should have Laporta more involved this week because due in circumstance to J-Mo and a Monty, with that knee injury, and taking on the Titans who just traded away a D-Hop and recently acquired linebacker Jones. The shakeup is real in Tennessee. This could lead to a lot of down morale for this club unless they're trying to shake things up to get them more motivated. I don't necessarily see it. It's a risk. I get it, okay? To play Sam Laporta these days right now, the situation is probably the best we've seen for him to get more targets and more involved in this situation. I'm calling a boom for the second time this season for a Sam Laporta. There is giant risk, but we got to play it, man, because I do believe that it is going to be coming this week. Last one, Jake Ferguson, the Cowboys, coming off the bye week. Dallas hasn't looked great. Some of these contests, like versus the Detroit Lions, they look absolutely terrible going into that bye. But, Ferguson has been a constant playmaker at his position. He doesn't necessarily bleed heavy points, but I'm telling y'all, 3 out of 5 games right now so far have been booms. And, there's an opportunity for the Cowboys to recreate the run game in Dallas, which is hot garbage. And I'm telling y'all, you got to start mix and matching it with short passes, get Ferg more involved, get him the ball short so you can at least recreate the run through the short pass. We know Lamb and Jake, they are the 1-2 punch in this offense right now. As, Tolbert is starting to pick up steam as well. Brandon Cook still dealing with his injury. But, rightfully so, we got to, put some scrutiny on a Dak Prescott. He's got to get out of his own way, start force-feeding the ball to Jake Ferguson, to CeeDee Lamb, and start to make some plays like we know you guys can, man. Facing a beat-up 49ers squad, they're going to still compete in Dallas. The positive here is they played much better on the road than they have at home. So I'm taking that as a positive as well. So finding Ferguson on the regular is going to be my official party line this week. Let's call a boom, for a Jake Ferguson. But there you have it. That is Boomer Bust week number 8. And I mean, it's getting crazy. We got to get these dubs. You got to replace all the players we're losing. I got you covered. Like I said, start sit on Saturday. Let's keep this thing rolling. I'm with you to the end, and we're going to hoist those championships, no question. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. I am out.